William Campbell had been in a pursuit race with a burlesque show ever since Pittsburgh. In a pursuit race, in bicycle racing, riders start at equal intervals to ride after one another. They ride very fast because the race is usually limited to a short distance, and if they slow their riding, another rider who maintains his pace will make up the space that separated them equally at the start. As soon as a rider is caught and passed, he is out of the race and must get down from his bicycle and leave the track. If none of the riders are caught, the winner of the race is the one who has gained the most distance. In most pursuit races, if there are only 2 riders, one of the riders is caught inside of 6 miles. The burlesque show caught William Campbell at Kansas City.
Come in.
Mr. Campbell.
You can't fire me. You can't fire me. I got down off my bicycle.
You're drunk.
Oh, yes?
You're a drunken fool. When did you get into this town?
I came back into this town last night. Did you ever talk through a sheet?
Don't try to be funny. You're not funny.
I'm not being funny. I'm just talking through a sheet.
You're talking through a sheet, all right.
You can go now, Mr. Turner. I don't work for you anymore.
You know that anyway.
I know a lot. I know enough so I don't mind looking at you at all. Do you want to hear what I know?
No.
Good, because I don't know anything at all. I just love it under a sheet.
You want to stop off here, Billy, and take a cure. I'll fix that for you if you want to do it.
I don't want to take a cure. I don't want to take a cure at all. I'm perfectly happy. All my life, I've been perfectly happy.
How long have you been this way?
What a question.
How long have you been stewed, Billy?
Haven't I done my work?
Sure. I just asked you how long you've been stewed, Billy.
I don't know, but I've got my wolf back. I've been really trying. I've had him for a week.
The hell you have.
Oh, yes, my dear wolf. Every time I take a drink, he goes outside the room. He can't stand alcohol. The poor little fellow. He's a lovely wolf. He's just like he always was.
You ought to take a cure. You won't mind it.
I just love sheets.
You're drunk.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. You've had DTs.
Dear sheet, pretty sheet, don't you love me, sheet?
No.
Take a look. Look at that. That's try new development. I drink a little now once in a while just to drive the wolf out of the room.
They've got a cure for that.
No, they haven't got a cure for anything.
You can't just quit like that.
Hey, be careful of my sheet.
You can't just quit at your age and start pumping yourself full of that stuff when you're in a jam.
That's against the law, if that's what you mean. Dear sheet, I can kiss the sheet and see through it at the same time.
Cut it out with the sheet.
Listen, Billy, I want to tell you something. You're called Sliding Billy. That's because you can slide. I'm called Just Billy because I could never slide at all. I can't slide, Billy. I can't slide. It just catches. Every time I try it, it catches. I can't slide, Billy. It's awful when you can't slide.
Yes.
Yes, what?
You were saying?
No, I wasn't saying. It must have been a mistake.
You were saying about sliding?
No, it couldn't have been about sliding. But listen, Billy, and I'll tell you a secret. Stick to sheets. And keep away from women and horses and eagles, Billy. If you love horses, you'll get horse shit, Billy. And if you love eagles, you'll get eagle shit, Billy.
A little bit tired of listening to the sound of my...
I've got to go.
If you love women, you'll get a dose. If you love horses.
Yes, you said that.
Said what?
About the woman and horses.
And if you love sheets. I don't know about sheets. I've just started to love this sheet.
I have to go. I've got a lot to do.
That's all right. Everyone's got to go.
I better go.
All right, you go, Billy. Are you all right, Billy?
I was never so happy in my life. And are you all right?
All right, you go. I'll get up around noon.
But when Mr. Turner came up to William Campbell's room at noon, William Campbell was sleeping, and as Mr. Turner was a man who knew what things in life were very valuable, he did not wake him.
So in a pursuit race, we all found that the main symbol in the text was the pursuit race itself. And on the surface, it seems like a symbol like of an actual bike race. However, deeper down, the pursuit race symbolizes William Campbell, the main character, his race against his own demise. Eventually, both the burlesque show that he works for and Campbell's drug use catch up to him. He finds himself overtaken, as if in a bicycle race, by addiction and failure while talking to Mr. Turner, his boss.
William Campbell, the advance man for the burlesque show, who has sunken down into a state of drug abuse and alcoholism. Mr. Turner, the manager of the burlesque show, that has come to Campbell in order to talk to him about his sad state and his failure to stay ahead of the show.
So what does the pursuit race mean? The pursuit race, Hemingway uses the concept of the pursuit race to represent his perspective on life. The pursuit race represents how life is a constant race, always trying to stay ahead of the times. However, over the years, time will inevitably catch up to the racer and overtake them, equaling death. Hemingway utilizes the character of William Campbell to demonstrate how men are simply caught in the everlasting loop of time until they can no longer continue and drop dead in their tracks. Campbell is this man, as he can no longer stay ahead of the race and decides to stop in his tracks and pull the sheets up, waiting for the inevitable.
You know, Isaiah, on top of this, I really saw that the individuals in this story were alienated, which is a big part of modern literature. For example, William Campbell serves to represent this literary device, as his life is a continuous race in which he never is able to settle down and enjoy the moments, forever having to race ahead of the burlesque show as his way of living. Only when he can no longer stand the race, he drops out and finds a clean, well-lighted place where he can settle down and wait death. Turner, in this case, represents society, and Campbell represents the lonely man, or the lone wolf, as he says.
So the next modern literary device is the rejection of traditional themes. So the introduction and depiction of William Campbell as a heroin addict and potentially a homosexual greatly contrasts the traditional themes of literature prior to this point in time. Along with these themes is the depiction of a man who clearly yearns for death and is on the brink of suicide, as opposed to the previously popular, happy-go-lucky protagonist, loves his life, that sort of thing.
An additional theme within the text would be a depiction of multiple perspectives within the text. An example of this would be the dream-like conversations that occurs between Campbell and Turner. Within the conversation, Campbell appears to be caught in a dream like a realm. As he argues an existential conversation with a character that could be interpreted as his consciousness.
Hemingway's message within the text is that life is a continuous race which only ends with death, in which racers constantly run away from their problems and fears until the time overlaps them and takes them out of the race. That is what we interpreted as our literary analysis for the short story A Pursuit Race.